A question I frequently get from my students and clients is how to use Instagram to grow their audience. They're frustrated because they're not getting a lot of engagement and their posts announcing new episodes seem to go unnoticed. One of the things I found when I look at their Instagram accounts is that their profile is not optimized, making it hard for people who are discovering them on Instagram to even know they have a podcast. If you want people on Instagram to check out your podcast and become regular listeners, you need to start by optimizing your IG account. Hello and welcome to the Pad Sound School channel. I'm Veronica. I'm the social media and marketing strategist for the Pad Sound School. We teach entrepreneurs, business owners, and content creators to plan, produce, and launch a professional podcast with a strong brand and social media presence. In this video, I will walk you through the exact steps I teach my students in our podcasting program, Smart and Sexy Podcast Launch, to help them optimize their Instagram accounts so they can start promoting their podcast on this popular platform. Our program teaches how to professionally record and edit your podcast, content strategy, marketing, and social media promotion. I added the link in the description of this video if you're interested in learning more about the program. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button so you don't miss out on our weekly video releases. Okay, are we ready? Let's get to it. Number 1, how to set up your podcast account. If you're new to Instagram and you haven't started promoting your podcast in this platform, you may be wondering if you need to create an account just for your podcast. If you're entirely new on Instagram and don't have an account yet, you have 2 options, and they depend on whether you will be part of your podcast brand or not. If you are the face and brand of your podcast, then you may want to create an Instagram account with your name and photo. Also, in the bio statement, you want to include a phrase indicating you are the host of the podcast, like in this example. Creating an account with your name instead of using the podcast name will allow you to add more projects besides your podcast to your IG account. For example, you may want to promote a new blog or YouTube channel, or share your book release or speaking engagement. Using your image as the umbrella brand for your podcast and other projects, even if you're only starting with your podcast, gives you more flexibility to add those to your account as they come. Also, in terms of time and efficiency, it's better to manage and grow one Instagram account. But if you decide to be separate from your podcast brand, you may want to create an Instagram account just for your podcast. You can still link your podcast account with your personal Instagram account by adding hosted by followed by the handle of your personal account, like I show in this example. If you already have an Instagram account for you or your business, you also have 2 options. The first is to use your existing account to promote your podcast or create a separate account for your podcast. If you want to use your existing account, you can create a highlight for your podcast and regularly post on Instagram stories about your episodes, saving the post inside your podcast highlight. You can also create a branded hashtag for your podcast. For example, using my personal IG profile, I can add host of hashtag Pad Sound School podcast to my bio statement. The good thing about using a branded hashtag for your podcast is that you and your listeners can use the hashtag when they post something related to the podcast. So it becomes a community hashtag you can share on your episodes so your Instagram listeners can use it. Creating a branded hashtag for your podcast and complementing it with a highlight is a great way to incorporate your podcast promotion into your existing Instagram account without creating and managing 2 separate accounts. This strategy also allows you to leverage your current followers instead of starting with 0 followers with a new account. The second option is to have a separate account for your podcast. If you decide to go with this route, you can link both accounts by adding them to the 2 bio statements. An excellent example of this is Andy Wang and his podcast Inspire Money. In his personal IG account, he includes his professional credentials. Then he identifies himself as the host of Inspire Money, linking the podcast account. If we look at the podcast IG account, we see how in the bio he tells us why the podcast is worth listening to. It's a Forbes top 10 personal finance podcast. He links his personal account in case people want to learn more about what he does, including the hosted by @advisory Andy. He then tells people what the podcast is about and includes a call to action listing here, directing people to the link in his bio. Now let's talk about number 2, your profile picture. Your Instagram profile picture is very important. This is the picture people will see when you comment on their post or share something on IG stories. For your profile picture, you have a couple of options. You can use your podcast cover art so your listeners can easily find you, or you can use a picture of you if you're making yourself part of your podcast brand. In either scenario, you want to use a bright color background to make your picture pop. Also, choose a picture from the shoulders up and facing the camera. Remember that people will be looking at your profile photo using their phones, so make your picture bright and clean. Number 3, IG handle and name. For your IG handle, you want to use the name of your podcast. If the name is already taken, you can add the word podcast or pod to the name. I recommend my clients to be consistent with their podcast name and brand throughout their social media and use the same name and handles everywhere if possible. If, for example, let's say that my podcast name is More Like Me, my website and social media handles will be morelikeme.com and at More Like Me for Instagram and Twitter. If the name is already taken, I can use More Like Me Podcast or More Like Me Pod. The name of your account can be the same as your IG handle. Something important about the name field is that it is searchable within the Instagram app. This means that people typing keywords inside the search bar will get accounts suggested based on these keywords. For example, if I type the word podcast on the search bar, Instagram will show me a list of accounts with the keyword podcast in their name field. The Instagram algorithm suggests these accounts based on recency and relevancy. This means that the top results on this list are accounts I've been interacting with the most that also have the word podcast in the name field. This is why it's very important to add the keyword podcast by your name if your account is only for your podcast. If you're a vegan baker or a tango dancer, you may want to add these keywords instead. Using our account as an example, we added the keywords podcast coach by our name. Number 4, bio statement. The bio section is an essential part of your IG account. You want to tell people what your podcast is about, who is the host of the podcast, and a call to action directing Instagram users to listen to your latest episodes. In this section, you're only allowed to include 150 characters, so we have to get creative using emojis and abbreviations to add all the information we need to add. For example, let's say that your podcast is about women re-entering the workforce after raising children. I may say something like this: inspiring stories, resources, and strategies for mamas reclaiming their professional life. New episodes every Thursday, hosted by Veronica, link in my account, and a call to action, listen here, coming soon, and subscribe. Number five, I know how to count. Number 5, link in bio. The link in bio or website field is the only place where you can add a link to your podcast player or website in your Instagram profile. I've seen podcasters cluttering their captions with links that don't work because they become disabled. Instagram wants to keep people in their platform, so they don't allow links to be added to posts. This is why the link in bio is so important. This is the place you will be sending people to from your post or Instagram stories. To maximize your link in bio, you can create a landing page using your website or a landing page service like Linktree. We use Linktree, and this is what our Linktree looks like. We have a lot going on, so with Linktree, we can add all our links to our YouTube videos, podcast episodes, Facebook community, free guide, and podcasting course. And number 6, Instagram highlights. Instagram highlights are one of my favorite features on Instagram. It allows you to store Instagram stories permanently, so you can have a little piece of evergreen content ready for people to watch in your account. They are displayed above your Instagram grid and can add a nice touch to your account. You can create highlight covers with your brand colors, giving more personality to your account. Highlights are a great way to entertain your audience on Instagram and show them your world, podcast, and other projects. A few highlights I think you should create are the About Me highlight, podcast, and listeners love. So you can start saving your IG stories about you, your podcast behind the scenes, or guests, and your listeners' review or shoutouts. For example, in our IG account, we have highlights for our YouTube channel, podcasts, listeners' comments and reviews, and different projects the Pod Sound School is involved in. Okay, Podskis, you have homework to do. Dedicating time to nurture and grow your community on social media is just as important as creating episodes for your podcast. Instagram is a great platform to promote your podcast. You just need to learn how and be consistent. Stay tuned, and before you go, yes, 2 things. No olviden hacer la tarea, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Happy Instagramming, amigos!